Hi everyone, welcome to RPA Explorers
In
channel.
this video, I'm going to show how you can work with multiple checkboxes. So in the previous video or in the part 1, I have shown how you can work with single checkboxes on any application. This is the activity which we have used in the previous video. In case you want to know how you can work with single checkboxes, you can watch that video. This is the application and also provide the link in the description. So here we are concentrating on this multiple checkboxes, and by default the application has these three checkboxes selected. Let me show you how you can select all the checkboxes irrespective of whether it is selected or not selected. I mean, if it is selected, it will not do anything. If it is unselected, it just keep on selecting them and complete the button. So let's start building it. Make sure to watch the previous video to understand this activity, as I'm going to continue on the same. When I want to deal with multiple checkboxes, what I can do is I can just click on this plus and keep adding all the checkboxes one by one, and I can add the respective actions over here. But here in this case, as we just have only one else part, we will not be able to make decision for all the wait for images, and it is mandatory to have single wait for images for every activity so that you can make a decision. So here I have added two different wait for images. In one I have captured Java and PHP. So in both of the cases the else part is to select the checkboxes. An additional property I have changed is for this wait for images, wherein I have reduced the maximum wait for time just to 2 seconds, so that to execute the bot very fast. Let me quickly show the output. So the application is launched, and quickly I'll deselect it. So I think before the moment I deselected, it was trying to click on this PHP. Let's check the output. Yes. So I think it is completed. Okay, let me quickly change it to maybe 5, as it was very fast as soon as the application is launched, and I did not get the time to deselect him. So let me increase it. And now let's check the output. Okay, it is validating Java. So it selected, and it also selected this one. So this is working now. In this case, this checkbox is not necessary. Let me tell you another way where we need this checkboxes. Additionally added a delay for each click activity, so that when the first image is found, it can click and wait for 2 seconds or the seconds you want to give here, and then it start finding the other wait for images. So I just have 2 seconds for all the click activities. I haven't changed any threshold value, and in case it is required, you can also do the changes. So keeping the high threshold value, it is capable of capturing the exact image. So same is for wait for images as well. So I wait for images as well, where I have this delay after execution is 2 seconds. I mentioned the wait option is wait for all the wait for images. We are done with everything. Let's run the process now. And now I'm not going to do any changes. So it should select the .NET and JavaScript. So JavaScript is selected now, and then after 2 seconds it selected the .NET as well. So this is completed. We'll close it and we'll rerun the process. And this time I'm going to disable some default values. So let me disable JavaScript and ASP. So it found that PHP was already checked. So now it starts checking for the other things. And now everything is selected. This is also expected. So I'll close this now, and also if you notice here, we have this Java and JavaScript. So it is more or less similar. So now let's try to select only this Java and JavaScript. So I'll close it and we'll rerun the process now. I'm going to disable this and enable the .NET. So it found that Java and JavaScript was unchecked, so now it should check them. Okay, and if you see, it checked both of them. So our process is executing as expected, and in case you have multiple checkboxes to validate, you can go with this method. And it is not necessary that you always have to keep this delay of 2 seconds. In case it is not required, you can also remove them, but it is advisable to have some delay on the exact action you are doing so that it can wait for it and then it can go with the next one. And in case you don't have a delay, it just parallelly execute all those actions, and there are chances that we get an error. And as I mentioned earlier, we also have some other method to execute this, in which you can enable multiple checkboxes. And the current execution, we have multiple wait for images, which takes some time as it has to validate the image for each wait for images. So in order to save the time, what you can do is you can just have only one wait for images and capture all of them. Take this and add all the images over here. Like you have to capture this Java, PHP, ASP.NET and JavaScript, everything over here. So if it is selected, in the true part, you just change the variable to true. And similarly do for every other checkboxes. As this we have only one actions to do, only thread 0 you should have. So let me take a parallel activity. And here just add only one thread, add this thread to here. And whenever the value is true, whenever it was already checked, I am just making my boolean value to be true, and similarly doing it for everyone, so that when the bot runs, it parallelly check all the images, which saves the time compared to the wait for images which we have for each checkboxes. And also here make sure that you change the property to wait for all, so that it can wait for all the images we provide here. And whenever the image checkbox is found, it just turns the value into true. And once everything is completed, the thread 0 is completed, it just go out of this control loop. And here you have to add a decision. So let me add a decision and show you guys. So here you can just validate is checked or something. So, and this should take the value which is from this boolean variable. And if you remember that initially we made the value to false, and only if it is checked we have to make it to true. If it is not true, then you have to add this section. The meaning is that if it is false, it doesn't even go to this true block, which means the checkbox is unchecked. So when you validate it in the false block, you should add the actual check activity. And similarly, you have to do this for every checkboxes. But the variable name, which is just boolean Java. And similarly, you have to create a boolean value and set all the values to be false over here. So let's create some variable here. Like you have to go to the respective activities, create some local variable. Boxes create all the variables like boolean Java, boolean PHP, ASP.NET and JavaScript. The initial value to be false, and when you are making the decision, make sure that you tag the correct variable for each checkboxes. So here you have to tag the variable which is Java. So this is done. Then you have to pick the next decision activity. If it is checked, then it should be coming over here. And there are scenarios that the first checkbox is checked, but you have to validate the second checkboxes. And then you have to map the true to this port as well. Let's assume that the first checkbox is checked and second is not checked. So the value is true here, it won't do anything. And you have to check for the second box, right? So that is the reason we should map the true value to the next decision block. And similarly, you have to do this for every other component, and no other changes except the change you have to do here for this wait options. Is completed, make a decision and then go and check the rest of the checkboxes. And make sure that you connect your true and false block to the next decision. So this is the other way of doing it, which is very simple, and also it reduces lots of time as we just have only one wait for images. I hope the second method is also clear for you. So just about two methods to validate multiple checkboxes. In case you guys have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching this video till the end.